Welcome to class today. Today I am sitting in the Magic Kingdom in Florida and it is so lovely. You can see the beautiful Cinderella castle behind me and I just saw Cinderella. She just walked right by me. It's like a dream come true. My daughter made me these very cute ears. They actually light up. I don't know if you can see the lights. Oh, there we go. There's my magical Mickey lights. Okay, so grab your paper and your pencil and let's get ready for math. I'm going to share my screen with you. Be right back. Okay, we are going to be working on a couple of things. So the first thing you need to do is to grab your workbook packet. And if you don't have it, no worries. Just follow along on the anchor chart and you'll be ready to go. So you're going to look at this module, Module 2. We're going to do this first problem, and then you'll be able to do these on your own. The second thing that we're going to be working on will come from this page. We'll do one problem from each of these sections, and then we'll do some missing number equations. Our main focus today is going to be working with equations to balance the side. And so we're going to first get started with a quick little word problem. And the word problem says, Rodney had a friend over on Saturday. His dad took them to a sandwich shop. So Rodney, his dad, and his friend all went to get a sandwich. Each sandwich cost $6. How much did they spend on sandwiches in all? And show our work. So when I'm thinking about solving this problem, I know that our goal is going to be, I can use multiplication to solve problems. So I'm making my target right here. All right, and then when I've read the word problem, I know that there are 3 people and each one of them is $6. So 3 groups of 6 is 18. So a really quick review of how you can show repeated or how you can show multiplication. There are 3 ways that are pretty easy for most 3rd graders to do. Is first, using a loop group. Second is using skip counting. And the third is just using repeated addition. So today, as you look through your Bridges work, the first page you're going to go to is spend on sandwiches in all. So I'm going to think about this as 1, 2, 3 people bought a sandwich. So we have 3 groups of 6, and we know that 3 times 6 is 18. Very good. So they spent $18 in all. So you could write that out. If you didn't know your 3 times 6s or your 3s or your 6s, then you could draw a picture. So I'm just going to draw 3 plates right here, and each plate was worth $6. And so I could quickly see that I have 3 groups of 6. 6 plus 6 plus 6 is 18. Okay, so I could do that. Skip counting or using a model to help me count on. I could also count by 6. 6, 12, 18. If I'm thinking about the multiples of 6 or counting by 6, like skip counting, repeated addition, making a model. We could do a number line model. We could do a bar graph thing. It's like a bar model, or a tape diagram. That's the other one that's called. So there's lots of different ways to show multiplication. So remember to use your strategies. Oh, I forgot one. One strategy that we've talked about recently is distributive property. So if I did 3 times 6 and I didn't quite know my 6's yet, I could break 6 into 5 and 1. And then this goes back to what we talked about, the identitive property last week when we said 3 times 5 plus 3 times 1. So we have breaking apart, and then 3 times 5 is 15 plus 3 times 1, the identitive property, which means that there's only 1 of that number. So anytime a number is multiplied by 1, it equals, you got it, that number. 3 times 1 is 3. All right, and then we add those together, it's 18. So even if you already knew this, you could use these strategies on any other problem that you didn't know, and that's why I went over them today. So you're going to use the same strategies that we just did here when you solve the problems on multiplication practice page. Remember the zero property where anything times 0 equals 0, so you can use the zero trick. You can multiply the two numbers that you see, like 10 times 4. You could say 4 times 1, 10 is equal to 4 tens, which is the same as 40, or 80 times 4. What's 4 times 8? Row, row, row your 8s. 8, 16, 24, 32. So 32, and then add a 0, 32 tens. Okay, if you need more help with this, go back to last week's video and rewatch that. Next thing, we're going to work with these equations. So our next target, you'll finish this on your own. All right, and then the next page you're going to do, it says multiplication practice, and there are just a few basic multiplication things you might need to use one of these strategies. And now we're going to get into the main part of this lesson, which is that we will be working on, my little picture here, we're going to be working on balancing equations and filling in missing numbers. So our I can is going to be, I can fill in missing numbers to make equations true. So for this one, we need to remember that we are making equations true, so we have to find a balancing act, right? So like just when we put a scale, if we put 2 apples on one side of the scale, then we have to put 2 apples on the other side that weigh the same amount so that our scale is balanced and equal. All right, so we're going to start with the first one that I see, which is 8 times 3. And it says, is the same as 40 minus what? And so this is what I like to call a rewrite the problem. So I need to first look at this side. 8 times 3, 8, 16, 24. So 8 times 3 is 24. I just used skip counting to solve that. 24. And then on this side, I have 40 minus something equals 24. And so if I know something about my fact families, then I will be able to solve for this problem quickly. So I'm going to take 40 and I'm going to subtract 24, and that is going to give me the answer. So go ahead right now and pause your screen, and if you would, go ahead and solve for this problem. Okay, so now that you're back, I'm going to show you the algorithm. 40 minus 24. Check your work. 0 cannot take away 4, so we must regroup. We change the 4 to 3 tens, and we give a total 10 over here. Now 10 minus 4 is 6, and 3 minus 2 is 1. So our answer is 16. So if we go all the way back up, the missing number was 16. So you're going to do that in all of these problems. You're just balancing. You're just trying to make them equal to each other. Okay, we'll do one more like this. This is another one that says 42 divided by 6 is equal to 63 minus what? So we're going to rewrite the problem as we solve for this. So we're going to think about our 6's. For me, I like to skip count by 6's. So right here, I'm just going to skip count. 6, 12, 18, 24, 32. I'm sorry, I messed up. B-I-N-G-O, 6, 12, 18, 24, and 30, and 36. I fixed it. 42, 48, 54, and 60, 66, and 72, and that is our 6's. So if I'm looking for 42, I see that right here, and that is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th number that I said. So it's the 7. 7 times 6 is 42. So if I had 42 cupcakes on 6 tables, then I would get 7 in each. Now 7 is the same as 63 minus what? So back to your fact family, you know that 63 minus something is equal to 7. So if you flipped that, it would be 63 minus 7 will be your missing number. So let's go ahead and try. 3 cannot take away 7. So I'm going to change the 6 to a 5 and change the 3 to 13. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. So I get that 6. We know that that's a fact, right? The doubles plus 1 or doubles minus 1 based on how you're solving this. And then 5 minus something or nothing is 5. So we're at 56. So the missing number was 56. Sound good? So the next part of our work today is going to come on the last of page 234, and it's where we're going to be using greater than, less than, or equal to evaluate equations. So we're going to start with 125 plus 230, and then there's a gray box, and that gray box is where we're going to put one of these symbols in. And then the next side says 100 plus 255. Okay, so now in order for us to evaluate them, we have to rewrite the problem and solve. So I'm going to use the algorithm because I know that you guys are 3rd graders and you've mastered that. So we're going to take 230 plus 125, and if you wrote them the opposite way, that's okay. The commutative property says that we can add in any order and get the same sum. So I start in the ones place first. 0 plus 5 is 5, 3 plus 2 is 5, and 2 plus 1 is 3. So I have 355 on one side, and then on the other side, we have 255 plus 100, and when I add that together, 5, 3, I know that I get 355. So these equations are actually equivalent or equal to each other. Okay. Let's go to another one in this section. Let's try to do this one that has multiplication. So we're going to do 32 times 10. This is using the 0 property. And then we are comparing that with this one, which is 13 times 100. What is 32 times 1? And you think to yourself 32. And then so 32 times 1, 10 would be 32 tens, also known as 320. All right, and so then if I did the same thing over here, I've got 13 times 100, which is the same as 1300. And really quickly, like if I need to just think about 13 times 1, I can do that, and then I just bring over my zeros. That's why I like to call it the 0 trick. So it's easy for us to compare that 320 is less than 1,300. So I'm going to put the less than sign right here. Excuse me. All right, we're going to try one more. This one says 300 minus 250. Compare that to 350 minus 300. So this one's pretty easy to do in our head using mental math. Let's start over here on this side. 350 minus 300, the difference is pretty easy to see that it's 50. We know that if we just added 50 more to this number, that it would be the same. So if we're taking them away, it would just be the difference of 50. So that on this side, The difference between 300 and 250 or 250 is 50 again. So again, we find one that is equivalent. So basically, friends, you're just going to work through these 6 problems. We already did 2 like this, so there's just 4 left to do on your own. And the ones that are labeled challenge, remember to work each side and rewrite the problem and then compare or fill in the missing number. So use the rewrite the problem strategy that we've worked on today. If you have any questions, you can send us a Flipgrid with the equation that you need help with, and we're more than happy, Miss LaFour and myself, to Flipgrid you back and get right back in touch with you and help you with this math. So boys and girls, I hope you've had a wonderful day today. As you can tell, the sun is going down here at Disneyland, and so I am off to go see Mickey and Minnie. Not really, I'm in quarantine too. But I will see you soon. Have a happy afternoon. Bye, friends.